So if you don't know, Michael Irvin is suing this white woman for an undisclosed amount in the Marriott Hotel for $100 million because the NFL pulled him from all Super Bowl coverage because this woman claimed that he was inappropriate in a 30 to 40 second interaction that he had with her. She worked for the hotel, and now he has two white gentlemen that are backing his story as far as what happened. It was a very pleasant exchange. They saw nothing wrong with it. They don't know what this woman is claiming that went awry, but here we are. He's suing now. And I'm going to play the gentleman's testimony right here.
You were there. Yeah, so I was at the bar, and I was there with two buddies of mine. We were having like a business dinner, and we looked across the bar and saw there was Michael Irvin, which was really cool because I grew up watching football. I'm from Philadelphia. And we offered to buy him a drink. So, I told the waitress, I said, hey, can you buy Michael a drink for us? Michael declined the drink, but came over and said, thank you. I have work early tomorrow morning. I can't tonight, all that kind of stuff. And he could...
Wait. I thought he was drunk. So if Michael Irvin was drunk off his... Why did he decline the drink? Because he had to work in the morning. That sounds like a responsible guy to me.
See, I had my phone open for a picture. So he said, do you want to take a picture? I said, absolutely. He said, let's step outside. I can't take a picture inside the building or whatever it was. So we took a bunch of pictures outside, a little after 11 o'clock, I guess it was. And when we walked in, we walked back to go into the bar. He went straight to go to his hotel room. And I guess somebody that worked there, I don't know if it was a waitress or a bartender, came up and said, hey, it's Michael Irvin. And he said, oh, it's nice to meet you. I'm Michael, shook her hand. And the crazy part is it was like a 30-second interaction. Maybe it could have been a minute. Guys, I didn't really think much of it because it was just fans kind of thing. Yeah. And I woke up, that ended. He went up to his hotel. I woke up, I guess, this morning and saw this thing that said, Michael Irvin, and I was like, God, I just took a picture with that guy. I can't believe it. And then I read it. And it was from the night that I was there, and I was like, this is baffling. Because I saw it, and I never witnessed something like that happen before.
So what you said she could have been like an employee of the hotel?
Yeah, she had a uniform on. So I don't know if she was a waitress or a bartender, but she was just in that lounge area or whatever. It was a crowded bar.
And it literally, what was optically, you're looking, it was, what happened?
So I'm sitting, so we're standing right here. And so she was... at kind of the corner where the bar was, came around the corner and said, hey, Michael Irvin. He said, it's nice to meet you. We shook her hand. And it was about a 30-second interaction that was jovial, like a fan interaction. And that was it. And then he went and she went back to work.
Just from your perspective, there's no way anything of the nature of you're cut from all the broadcasts. That doesn't even make sense from what you said.
That's why this morning I felt sick when I saw it, because it was the first time I was ever, firsthand experience where something like that happened that was just fabricated. It was a totally normal conversation, and the bar was, relatively packed. It was a quick conversation in a crowded area. He went on his way. I never really thought about it again. And she went back to work. He went upstairs. And when I read that it was that he was taken off of or canceled from the NFL Network or whatever, it just was mind blowing that happened so quickly off a 30-second conversation where it was normal. I didn't get it. So
wow.
And so that was one of the eyewitnesses that was was reports that came out that said Michael Irvin was drunk off his butt and this, that, and the other. So old boy was like, yeah, we tried to send him a drink. He didn't take it. He wasn't drinking because he had to work in the morning. So conflicting reports there. It was a very jovial reaction. He talked to the woman, said, what's up, went on about his way, right? So we're going to get to another eyewitness account of what happened.
Right there when the interaction, that's kind of been questioned, kind of happened?
Yeah, 100%. So we just came back in from the lobby after taking a group picture. So I was there with a few of my friends. It was a bit of a work meeting. We had a really positive interaction with Michael, group photos. I then got a one-on-one photo with Michael, which was great. I was at the back of the group as we re-entered the lobby. So I saw Michael. He was heading towards the lifts, and then he gets called back by a young lady just to say hello. And
did you hear exactly what happened? Or what was said?
It was a very it was a positive, friendly conversation.
Yeah.
They had a brief interaction. It was 30, 40 seconds. He kept his distance at all time. It stood about a meter away from her. They ended it with a handshake, and he literally turned around and went back to the lift.
What was anything inappropriate said, or
No, not at all. Not at all. There was a little bit of laughter. Obviously, jovial conversation. Nothing untoward for me to actually take notice of what was going on.
So there's not even did she react in any? There's no way that she reacted uncomfortably at all.
No, not in my opinion. Like, she turned around, like, after the conversation, she went back into the bar area or around the bar area, and everyone continued their evening. It was nothing that I witnessed that, you know, was untoward whatsoever.
And so here you have testimony from two white gentlemen that have put their stamp on the situations that happened. And I say that because I know when Michael Irvin said it himself, it wasn't received the same way. I know that. But I was reserving judgment because I'm like, 30, 40 seconds. I'm like, what could he have said in 30, 40 seconds? He could have been like, yo, that's my D. He could have went off, right? But I was like, I believe cameras would have shown if he kind of snapped off of this, that, and the other. But I was reserving judgment to wait and see if he said something extra vulgar in those 30 to 40 seconds. It didn't appear that he did. And he was very confused at why this was even happening. That would led me more to believe his story. Like when you be like, man, I don't know what she's talking about. Like, what? I don't know. So now we fast forward a day or two, and now we got some white gentlemen that are putting their stamp on the situation as far as agreeing with Michael Irvin as far as what he said. And now the media is getting behind it and agreeing. Because what do we know? What do we know as far as media? White is right. White folk, I love y'all. Don't take this as a slight. I'm not being weird or nothing. I'm just stating how things go. It's obvious because when it was just Michael Irvin saying what happened, not so much. They're going to believe the white woman, right? But when it's camera evidence, and then you got, it was a video that showed him talking, but you couldn't really hear the audio. But then when you got two white gentlemen come out as well and agree with Mike, then it's like, maybe it's something different. And then what I agree with is that he taking his stands in this situation, he put the lawsuit in immediately. Let's not waver on what we think, and let's not get scared on if you gonna take a stand or this, that. If you didn't do it, man, take a stand. And what I want to know from the women is when y'all holler out, protect women, what are you going to do when you see the false, foul, funky females that do things like this? She met Michael Irvin for all of 30 seconds and decided, you know what? I'm behind on this payment and that payment. And I think this would be the perfect time to alleviate all of that. And I'm just going to come out and say this, right? So when they do this type of thing, because you have to look at the checkerboard of the Michael Irvin, he's already been pulled from the whole Super Bowl weekend. His career is teetering because the NFL Network is in ESPN or whoever he's working for is trying to figure out if they should fire him or not. I know they're happy that they didn't fire him yet because had they fired him, they'd be looking at a lawsuit as well. But instead of doing an investigation and letting this man go ahead and do his job, they yanked him from everything. And this is what I'm saying about what a woman can just say. She can just say anything against a man. Y'all will believe it. And then everything is over for him, right? So if it wasn't two witnesses, if it wasn't no video evidence that suggests that he didn't say or do anything foul, then y'all just run with this story and he would be out of the Super Bowl weekend. He would be, come Monday or Tuesday, he'd be out of a job. He'd be out of all type of sponsorships and this, that, and other that he had going for himself. And he wouldn't have any type of follow-up career to reestablish himself. Not only that, but he would be looking at jail if he isn't willing to play and pay this woman a huge settlement to her liking. And all I'm saying is, women, where's the protection for the fellas? Because all I'm saying is that I'm not saying we just not going to believe this woman or women that come out and make allegations. But what I am saying is when they are found to be false, why is it out of the realm of possibility to say, you know what? What was he facing when you said those words? When you said he said something, inappropriate to, what by law would he be facing to pay out or to face in jail? What, 2 to 5 years? What is it? Because whatever that was that he should be facing, you should be facing. You should be facing them penalties and that 2 to 5 or whatever that you was about to bring towards his name. and have him to opt out of and pay you in a settlement to opt out of jail time and this, that, and other, even though you're making a total false claim on this man. And we're going to reserve judgment and say it's still all alleged because we didn't hear the conversation. We don't know if the young gentlemen are lying. We don't know if the young lady is lying. We don't know what, but I'm just saying how it looks optically from my optical brown eyes. I'm just saying it don't look like it's sitting right to me. It looked foul to me. It smelt foul from the minute I smelt and heard it. You know what I'm saying? But I chose not to speak on it right off the rip because I wanted to reserve judgment and gather a little more information. But now that I've gathered a little more info, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think this female is about as funky as they come. But this your boy Pete Camp. You tell me if you think she funky as well. Or was something said inappropriate? If it was something said inappropriate, let's get it. But I don't think by that $100 million lawsuit that it was. Tell me what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.